Greetings, travelers! So today's tutorial is going to be kind of a recap and some of the other not so well known features of both Resource Loader and Custom Main Menu. So to recap, we did cover the putting the images, how to do buttons and how to format those properly, the motion panoramic background, changing the splash text, and just the general positioning and how to design your menus so that even when you maximize it, it still looks good. However, today we're going to cover the Resource Loader, some of the additional features it has, as well as the custom GUI option that is in here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Resource Loader and what it can do. So one of the examples we're going to have is, you notice, let's go back here. Oh, we have Minecraft sounds, and then music, and then menu, and then those four. Now the naming is important. This is what Minecraft has by default, is 4 files for creating the music. They all can be the same exact song, but the title has to be in this order. The reason that's important is if we go to Options and turn on Music, and we just wait a moment, so you can see that you can actually change the music that plays when your pack loads. Instead of using the default Minecraft music, now it's got something that fits whatever the theme of your pack is, playing every time it loads. Now if you want to have different selections so that there's a variety of music that plays, each one of those songs that are here, you're going to want to put, for menu 1, have one song, 2 for another. Turn that down just a little bit more. There, now it's not so loud. But that's the key, is having those there. And this path is very specific. It has to be in the resource folder. It has to be Minecraft, Sounds, Music, and Menu, specifically for it to work with your songs in the menu folder. Now, one of the other things you can do with Custom Main Menu is, because it's a resource, like a resource pack, if you know the proper file name and path for a mod, you can actually use this to replace files from that mod. So for instance, we will go here, actually I didn't do it in this one, I did it in this one. Notice I have HQM and sounds, and then I have a sound to replace when you complete one of the quests. But again, note the path that it is. It's HQM, sounds, and that's based off of what's actually in the mod path. You could probably get an example using any number of different resource packs that are available to see. Most of those have it like assets and then the mod name. You don't need the assets. Resources takes that place. So it's basically from the mod folder forward is what you need to replace. Same thing I did here with Draconic Evolution. I replaced a couple of the items. But remember, if it's a sound, if it's an image, they have to be the same exact name, like as if you were making a texture pack, basically. But the difference is you don't need an assets folder and then everything. You just literally drop the mod folder here and then go from there. Now as far as the custom main menu, let's go back to where we were. There we go. You will notice that I had a couple of those already set up. So if we scroll up here, you'll see I had custom content. So what you're going to do, and this is the easiest way to do it, because you notice the way that we built this menu is I didn't mention the custom GUIs until the end. Because the idea is you want to get your menu, at least for me, get the menu set up the way you want it, with the main menu JSON. Once you have that set up, then the easiest part is you literally are just going to, and you'll see it. Right now I have just the one. But if we want to have custom GUIs, and I will show you using an example from my other mod pack, which is what we're using for this tutorial. Is I created each one. So in this case, we had content. So if I take and copy this, and actually we'll just copy all of the extra ones for now. And we'll go back. And then I have this here, and we'll paste them here. Literally all I did is I took the main menu, copied it, and not this part. I copied this, pasted, which then gives me main menu dash copy. At least that's the way that Windows does it. And then just renamed it, and then went into that to edit it for what I wanted for my button. So we've got this completely duplicated. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you. So here's the content. If you look, if I scroll all the way up to the top here, you will see that it doesn't change. It's exactly the same. Where the difference comes in is if there's something different in that menu. So this one is literally just a duplicate, but the buttons change. So in this case, you'll notice the buttons down here, I have single player, multiplayer, extras, and then options, all that. So with the new GUI, I have main menu, so it takes you back to the main screen. Map downloads, so that you can download the map for, in my case, for my mod pack. DLC, because I have the map that you can play with, but if you want the extra stuff that I've created for Middle Earth, I have a button to go to that page to download. And then everything else, again, is identical. So if we hit Control R to make sure it's loaded properly, and we click this, now you'll see, same menu. Just now we have the main menu screen, map and DLC, and credits. And you see how I did the tooltip that we used for the trick down here to kind of explain what it is that you have on here. But now if you go through and look, main menu goes to, and this is how you would utilize it, is it goes custom main menu. That way it knows to go back to that GUI. For map download, I have a separate GUI for that. And I got to correct myself, DLC wasn't for the extended content, that's all handled under here. This one was credits. I didn't rename this, but this goes to show you that this piece isn't the important part, just so long as you remember, which obviously initially I didn't, what that button's for. But it too has its own GUI. So if you go here, now this is where we've done something different. So if we open up that one, the bulk of this image area is identical. Where I made the change is adding this extra bit down here, in my case, using an image that has semi-transparent, that's black, and that's the background. And then the other change is down here in text, where I still have my version, I still have the, the other, I still have the welcome. I took out the mods loaded, mods active, and in its place I added the text for map options. I added this line to give it a little bit of a separator, and then there are the two links that you can click to go do the downloads. And if you see, there's hover text, so if we scroll down here, when you hover over, it'll display something else. And this way it helps kind of describe what it's doing. Download the main map, or download the extra content to explore. And then each of those, that's where you add in action. Action is now going to tell it that this text that you've designated is going to do something. What is it going to do? Well, in this case, it's type open link. It's going to open a link. Well, what's the link? And then there's the link to go, and then you can get it. Same thing for the extra content. The positioning, again, that's all up to you, how you want to set it up. I usually try to give, if you notice where position Y is 56, and then down here is 66. That way there is a little bit of a gap and it looks like spacing, nice spacing. But if you notice the rest of it, the buttons are the same. Main menu, map DLC, credits. So that looks consistent. It doesn't change. It makes you feel like you're still in the same one. The other button was credits. This one is where I show, in this case I've used some music from Kevin MacLeod and Christopher Lloyd Clarke. I've put them in for credits. When you hover over their name, it's a link, but it also tells you to download their music because they're excellent. And then I did special thanks, and this is for, to thank the people that have helped me the most. In this case, it's also a link to my Patreon page, but it thanks my patrons, Val's Noisy Toys, and you, because you, the listener, you, the players of my mod pack, wouldn't be where we're at without, or where I'm at, without your help, your feedback, your encouragement, even. But if you notice, when you expand, it still relatively stays the same. It looks nicer. Now, granted, here it's a little spaced out more and it's not overlapping, but overall, the main menu at max size still looks very nice. But when I'm building these, again, I will mention I keep it at this size to make sure that whoever is playing, I can get it from the default screen all the way up to, high resolutions and have it look nice. But that's all there is to it. If there's anything else that I didn't cover in the last few videos that you want to see or hear or get some information about, please be sure to leave the information, the questions in the comments. You can also hit me up on my main website, which the links are in the description. But I'm always open to help. I've got Facebook, Twitter, you name it, I'll help. But thank you all for stopping by, and hope the tutorials help you, and everybody have a great day.